Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Dividi Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki उपस्थित भक्त वृंद की जय, उपस्थित भक्त वृंद की जय, उपस्थित भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये कांचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी Ashtapadeshadariye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. No, this is not a business of the mobile, something else. No, don't reduce it. What is the point that I'm not to show? So this is not because of the wire. All of you keep your mobile switched off. You don't know mobile?
Yeah, this one.
Other mic?
Just give the one. You, some should there. Understand?
This one.
Stand is on.
You should check it all before the class. Usually this is sometimes sure.
Hare Krishna. How many of you were there in the afternoon? Please raise your hand. So you still have the strength to be here? It's in English, right? Very good. You all are very powerful devotees of Krishna. That after, okay, who were in the morning, afternoon, 2 classes? Morning also, afternoon also, and now evening also. Great. I don't have that much strength. To hear, to speak, I can go on speaking. In our Krishna consciousness moment, please keep your mobile switched off. All of you, keep your mobile switched off. It is not good to speak on mobile whilst in the class. Okay, please keep it off. I'm hearing some sound. No, not that. Somebody is speaking. No, that's okay. That's okay. For translating, okay. Who's translating? With little softly. Or else you can sit somewhere on that side, corner, because there is already some sound they will not hear clearly. Is it? I mean, I'm okay with if you're fine with that. आप सब वहाँ कॉर्नर में बैठे यहाँ कुछ आवाज आ रही है आपको क्लियर सुनाई नहीं देगी तो बंद हो गई आवाज That's okay. It won't be disturbance. आप लोग जाते समय बात मत कीजिए पैर से चलकर जाना है ये बच्चों को थोड़ा चुप कराइए हरे कृष्णा I will speak, okay? When I was told that I'm going to speak and it's children's program, I was preparing my mind that I'll have to throughout the class say keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. The children, they don't keep quiet, right? In our Krishna consciousness movement, we all are supposed to be very responsible devotees. And what is our responsibility? Our responsibility as devotees are Lord. We are supposed to chant the holy name, we are supposed to serve the movement, we are supposed to follow the regulative principles, we are supposed to inspire others. So many responsibilities we have. But one major responsibility we have is to prepare the next generation for Krishna consciousness. That's our major responsibility. Thank you.
Right.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for saving me. So in our Krishna consciousness moment, your responsibility is to prepare the next generation. And our target should be that the next generation should be much better than us, not like us. If our target is like us, then we are not doing a good service to the movement. So our target should be that the next generation, whoever children they are growing up in Krishna consciousness, so they should become better than us. So the responsibility is both the sides. From the children's side also, that they should grow up with this tendency that they have to become very nice devotees. At the same time, the parents also take the responsibility of giving children such an environment where they can grow in Krishna consciousness. It is important for the devotee parents to create such an environment that bhakti should become natural for children. For us, it is not natural. We were forced. We didn't know to do this, do that. We were told. It was not natural to us. Now it has become natural. But children should be given such education, such training, such environment that bhakti should become natural for them. So education, very important, training, very important, and environment, very important. So we should have these three things in mind when we are preparing the next generation for Krishna consciousness. So kids generally, we see, sometimes, not generally, that they grow up in a devotee family, but they don't become devotees. In fact, what to talk of devotees, they don't even come to temple. They don't even follow the regulative principles because they're staying outside, studying somewhere in UK, and they can't have, without onion, garlic, so they eat everything outside. They're not able to. So that is not a very good situation for devotee community. That means harming our movement. We will not be there after a few years. After 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, we will not be there. Who will be there? If we don't prepare for the next generation, then no one will be there, right? And the movement will just go down. So that is why the preparation has to be there. And when should we start preparation? Actual preparation starts when the child has not even come into the womb. And there's a nice example in Ramayana of Sumitra. There were three principal queens of Dashrath Maharaj. How many queens he had? 300. Okay. How many queens? 10? 10,000. Okay. Very good. The number is there, I'll tell you, but that is not Dashrath Maharaj. That is Ravan. Ravan had 10,000 tons. Yes. 3. Very good. 3. 3. Okay. Ravan had, Dashrath Maharaj had 353 queens, out of which 3 were principal queens, Patarani. So Dashrath Maharaj, he was not having any children, and then he performed a year, and he was given a bowl of sweet rice. Can the sound be reduced of opening the plastic? My ears are very bad. They hear slight sound also. In fact, I'm very happy for next 2 hours you don't even move, because if you move, I get some sound. Okay, you won't move for 2 hours, just for 2 hours. Just sit like that without moving. I'm not sitting like that. How can you sit like that? But please don't make sound. So Dashrath Maharaj got this bowl of sweet rice, payasam. He was very much attached to Kekai and also to Kaushalya. So he gave half to Kaushalya, half to Kekai. Did you eat? Because he didn't want any other queen to have children. Now Kekai and Kaushalya both were having it in the hand, and they both loved Sumitra. And they looked at Sumitra. So Kaushalya immediately gave half of her portion to Sumitra. And Kekai also gave half of her portion to Sumitra. So now Sumitra was having half of Kaushalya's portion, half of Kekai's portion. And they both said, eat. And that is the time when Sumitra said, no, first you eat. Please understand, Sumitra was not telling this out of etiquette. That, okay, you are elder, you should eat first. Because Kekai was younger to her. So she was not telling out of etiquette, but she was telling for a very strong reason. She wanted 2 sons. She knew I'll have 2 sons because she has given half, she has given half, I'll have 2 sons. She wanted 2 sons who will serve the sons of Kaushalya and Kekai. And that is why she said, first you have, then I will have. So mentality, consciousness starts from when the child has not even come into the womb. Because the consciousness of the parents affect the child. Child develop with that consciousness. And that is why, because Sumitra had that consciousness when she had 2 sons, Lakshmana and Shatrughna, both served Ram and Bharat. Right? So this is an important thing, that how parenting doesn't start after your child has studied college and university, and then you try to make him a devotee. No. It starts when he has not even come into the womb. That is the reason we have sanskaras called Garbhadhan sanskar. Garbhadhan sanskar is a sanskar, purificatory process to attract a pure soul into the womb of the mother. That is Garbhadhan sanskar. So we do certain activities by which a pure soul is attracted to the womb. So where is it starting? Before even the child has appeared into the womb. So learn this example from Sumitra, that she wanted such children. And that is why these people, the Bharat and all, they were served by Shatrughna and Ram was served by Lakshmana. So it is important to develop that consciousness. And when the child is in the womb, then what should be done? Prahlad Maharaj. He was in the womb of the mother and she was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Narad Muni. Can you imagine one who hears Bhagavatam from Narad Muni obviously will be pure devotee. So what should be done? Now first I said that before the child is born, prepare your consciousness. Second, now the child has come into the womb. What should be done? You should increase your spiritual activities. So the child, Prabhupada says that when the mother is carrying the child, she goes to the temple, she pays obeisances, the child is also paying obeisance. His devotional service has started. So see how important it is for the mothers when they're carrying, then they should increase their spiritual activities, hearing, reading, going to temple, serving the temple. I know many devotees. Children are very good devotees. Why? Because I have seen when they were carrying the child in the womb, they were coming to temple. One Mataji, I know the day she went for the delivery, she came in the morning, served the temple, and then went for the delivery. Can you imagine what kind of a child will come? Right? So this is important. So before the child is attracted to the womb, purify your consciousness. When the child is in the womb, definitely you should increase your spiritual activities so that the child can get those impressions. Like Prahlad Maharaj got those impressions. His friends used to ask him when Prahlad was there in the school, 5-year-old boy, everyone was playing, and they used to call Prahlad. Very nicely promises. So they were calling Prahlad, come, we'll play. Prahlad was, no, come, you come, sit down here. I will tell you. And then he used to tell them about Bhagavatam, verses from Bhagavatam. And they were amazed. I said, Prahlad, where did you learn all this? You are playing with us. You are with us all the time. How did you learn all this? And Prahlad said, I learned it in the womb of my mother. So this is the duty of the children also. What they learn, they should try to imbibe those values very strongly. Children should not think that this is not for us because they see nobody is following. See the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Nobody in the whole kingdom was following Bhakti. He was the only one. His friends were not following. His father was not following. His mother was not following. Nobody was following Bhakti. Nobody was a devotee. He was the only one. But still he remained strong. So when you go to the school, children go to the school, they shouldn't think that, nobody is following, why should I follow? I remember an example of a small girl. Now she must have grown up. I haven't met her for a long time, but when I went, she was very small, and her mother told me that how she's preaching. So she used to take her tiffin box. I don't know whether here they take tiffin or not. They take tiffin. So she used to take tiffin, and there was one of her friends who was also bringing tiffin, but she used to bring egg, etc. And she was that devotee. She has never, from childhood, never even tasted what is egg. So she used to hate. So one or two times she told her, they don't bring egg. But what to do? Whatever mother was giving, that other child was bringing. So one day, this child, this small girl, told the other girl, if from tomorrow onwards you bring like this, I will not talk to you. The other girl was very disturbed. Both small girls' friends. So she went home and she told her mother, tomorrow onwards, if you give me an egg, I will not take the lunch box. So the mother got disturbed and she came to her mother, the girl's mother. What is it? Your child is teaching, my child is doing. So then this mother was a devotee. She said that it is wonderful if the child doesn't take. This is our culture, and that's how this mother also got convinced, and then she stopped sending. So just imagine the small girl became a preacher. Why? Conviction. She had this conviction that what I'm doing is right, what the other person is doing wrong. So children have this responsibility to adopt the culture, what parents are telling, they should take it very seriously. The culture of bhakti. Because parents are not telling anything out of their own mind. They are telling what Prabhupada has told. They are telling what Parampara has told. They are telling what Krishna has told. So we should take it very seriously. So it is a responsibility that children, first of all, Mahaprabhu said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order is Janma Sarthak Kari Kar Parokar. So children's Janma Sarthak Kari, how they can do? By accepting the principles or by accepting whatever spiritual life has been provided to them happily. They should be proud of it. I'll tell you one more example. I was seeing an interview. This was years ago. I think I was maybe studying in college in Mumbai. So that time I saw this interview. They had gone, there was a Gurukul in Mumbai, someplace. Some few students were staying with Shikha and all, children. And they used to go to normal school because Gurukul didn't have school. So they went to interview. So there was a small boy, this much maybe. So they were, reporter was interviewing this boy. I remember it, years back this interview was. And the reporter asked the boy, did you go to a normal school? He said, yes. So he said, you have the Shikha, child, and I had the Shikha. So don't your friend tease you? So he said, yes, they do. They do tease me. So then what do you feel? Don't you feel offended? Don't you feel angry? It happens, right? If a child is going, no other person has Shikha, this child has Shikha, everyone starts pulling the Shikha, telling him, oh, Panditji, this, that, whatever, right? So he asked the reporter, don't you feel offended? Don't you feel angry? And the answer the child gave, I still remember the expression, the way he said. This was years ago, you can imagine I was in college at that time. So the boy said, yeah, they do all this, but I don't feel bad. So why don't you feel bad? Because they don't know anything. So they don't know. It was such a strong statement that they don't know the value of it. They don't know the value of what I'm following. So that's why I don't feel bad. Just imagine. This is conviction. So our children should have such conviction that they don't know outside why we are following Krishna consciousness, why we are not eating meat, why we are not eating onion, garlic, why we are not drinking tea, why we are not going out and eating anything on the road, on the streets. So that conviction our children should have. And this is a responsibility again of parents to provide that culture. Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto says, Guru Nasasya Janani Nasasya Pita Nasasya Swajano Nasasya. So you should not be parents. Etc. Unless you deliver your independence. That means unless you can deliver your child. If you birth to a child, otherwise don't give birth. Deliver children. Liberate them. No one. So that means we should provide a culture of bhakti to our children. That is our responsibility. They become devotees or they don't become, that is their karma. They are also carrying their karma. Two things affect the future of a child. Their karma and the sanskaras provided by the parents. They may have their karma, but sanskaras can change the life. Like Prabhupada went to the West, what karma these hippies had? But Prabhupada provided them sanskaras and the life changed. They were also young. Prabhupada changed. So this is an example that we should be very, very careful that what impressions, what sanskaras are we giving to our children. So when you are parenting, when you're taking care of the child, many times we become neglectful. So one type of parenting is being neglectful. That means you're so busy with your works, you're so busy with your office, you're so busy with all the things, you don't have time for children. Right? In big cities, I don't know what happens here. In big cities, the people give birth to the child and they leave him into some, what do they call it? Crash or some other word? Babysitting or something. And the both of them go and work, then come back in the evening. So child grows with what intention? The child is seeing that how parents are treating me. He is hankering for that love, but he doesn't get love because in that babysitting or crèche, what they do? They are not concerned about giving love. They are just concerned, keep quiet, buzz, eat, keep, play. That's all. Don't worry about anything. Don't trouble us. So children do not grow with love. And because they do not grow with love, they cannot give love. Please understand. Because child, like I was saying, when he's in the womb, if you don't read Bhagavatam and if you see TV serials, there was a survey done. A lady, when she was pregnant, she was very much attached to a serial, TV serial. Every time she will see that. When the child was born, child used to cry all the time. He used to be silent only one time when that serial was going on. Otherwise, the child will keep crying. So just imagine what are we doing? We are producing serial babies. We are supposed to produce Krishna conscious babies. So that is why it's very important to provide that culture to our children. Prabhupada says they are Vaikuntha children. Because if they are born, who are born as per Bhagavad Gita, who are born in devotee family? Yes, yogis who could not complete their devotional service, right? That means they are ahead of us. We had just started, they had started last life and they could not complete, so they have little left, they have come. And we have just started. We have a lot of things left. I don't know how many lifetimes we have left. So that's why Prabhupada said it's very rare for a child to be born in a devotee family. What's that verse? Yeah, how is it starting? It's the starting of that verse. Anyway. So, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Vijayate. So one who has not been able to complete his yoga, what happens? He takes birth in okay. Very nice. So they take birth. So they are our responsibility. If you do not give them culture, they will miss the chance. They can go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. If you don't give them the chance, they will miss the chance. So understand your responsibility as parents, and children should understand their responsibility. That what parents are giving us, we should always accept it with all our faith and follow. And also give it to others, give it to your friends. And that's how it can go ahead. So there are so many examples. When we say neglectful, don't become neglectful. Don't carry on with your work and think that children will grow on their own. I was in Mumbai and I was hearing that in hotel industry, those who are working in hotel industry, they don't see their children growing like this. They see their children growing like this. Why? Because when they come from the hotel in the night, late night, the child is sleeping. And when they get up, child has already gone to school. So they see the children only at the bed. So they see him growing like that. Okay, he was sleeping this much, now this much, now this much. They don't see him like that. That's not a very good parenting, isn't it? It's neglectful. Child needs your time, and the child has the first right on your time. You should give that. But then sometimes parents are not neglectful. But they are whatever you want, right? Neglectful is like Dhruva Maharaj. Parent father neglected him. Through him, step he was disturbed. Even fortunately, he got in touch with Narad Muni and he could get Krishna. Otherwise, he would have spoiled his life. And there is another example of Duryodhan. He is an example of giving extra care. Dhritarashtra said, "My son, whatever you want to do, I want to give you the best." And he said, "Okay, I want to kill Pandavas, no problem. Go on. I want to give them poison, go on. I want to burn them, go on." What kind of parenting is this? That you're spoiling your child by giving him so much, right? Oh, I have something. Like, doesn't want the child to see the power. But children are like that. You cannot do anything. One example is coming in mind. Do you want to hear? There was a person who was very poor. He earned a lot of money. When he was so poor that his clothes used to be torn. He didn't have money to buy new clothes. So somehow he came up. So then he had a son. And he thought that I will give my son the best things. He should not see poverty like me. So he was giving him the best thing. One day he saw the son came and the son's jeans was torn from here. So the father had tears in his eyes. Father said, "My son, I'm giving you everything. What happened?" So the son said, "What happened?" He said, "Why are you wearing these torn jeans?" He said, "Dad, this is new fashion." I really fail to understand what kind of fashion is this that you torn your clothes and wear it. Isn't it? In Vedic culture, it is said you should not come in front of Krishna with torn clothes. It's not allowed. And people wear these jeans, and those jeans are costly, I heard. How much does it cost? 4,000 rupees. 5,000, maybe more, right? 4,000 rupees. See, just imagine, torn jeans, फटे हुए कपड़े 4,000. हमसे ले लो, हमारे इतने सारे बड़े बड़े आप लोगों को फट जाए. So this generation, I don't know what will happen with these people. I see many people and torn from different, torn from here, torn from there, and they are wearing without shame. If my dhoti gets torn from itna vina, I feel very ashamed. I don't wear it. So how can I wear the torn things? Sometimes it happens. You are traveling and somewhere the dhoti gets torn, and then I feel very bad. And these people openly everywhere it's torn and they are wearing it so nice. And they say it is fashion. Anyway, so don't give so much that the child gets spoiled. Right? Like Duryodhana. He was given everything. Take whatever you want. I'm showing my love for you, my child. You want money? Okay, take money. What will you do with money? I'm going to smoke. No problem. Take money as much as you want. This is foolishness, spoiling the child. Because child doesn't understand what is good, what is bad for me. Parents understand they're supposed to, even if they have to be a little strict, they should be. Because like when somebody is sick, suppose your child is sick and doctor has said, don't give him cold drink. And the child is asking for cold drink. Doctor said, if you give cold drink, your child will die. And child said, if you don't give me cold drink, I will not look at your face again. What will you do? Will you give the child, don't say, my child, you are my life. Take as much cold drink you want and die. We will not give, right? At least I suppose the parents will give. Will not give. Whatever the child says, he will hit you, he will say that I'm not going to stay with you, I'm not going to look at you, you are not my mother. They will say, no problem, but I will not. Why? Because they know that if I give, he will die. So that is love. Similarly, child may ask so many things, but give him only what is required and what is good for him. Not give him so much that he gets spoiled. I'll tell you, so many examples are coming in my mind now. I've seen all this. We were in Belgaum and one devotee from another city came he wanted his son to do engineering. And so he was a very wealthy person. So we told him that let him stay in hostel, we will arrange for it. He said, no, 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 my son will not stay in hostel. So he had a separate house for him. He took a flat on rent, big flat, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, just for one person. And then he gave him a car. He had a maid for him who will come and cook. Everything he gave, all the facility. And the child failed. He could not study. And he tried again, he failed. 3 years he tried, he could not clear, finally he had to go back. Just imagine, he gave him so much facilities. Everything is there. And he used to come leaving his work for 1 month when the child has exam. Third standard that you sit on, he's doing engineering. And you're giving him so much while he studying. He had the car, he had the flat, he had maid, everything, and money. You can imagine when somebody is giving this much, how much money will he give? And he got spoiled. Finally, he had to take him back. Just imagine why he could not study. Because all this opulence, he got spoiled. He was going out with his friends, enjoying, and finally, lost everything, all opportunity. So we should not become enemies of our children by providing them everything, whatever they ask. But give them what is necessary. That should be done. That should not be taken away from children. So this is an important thing that we do. The third kind of parents are who are very authoritarian. Do what I say, otherwise nothing. You will not get prasad. In South India, even today, there is a rule, especially in Sri Lanka and all, that if the child is not memorizing Vishnu Sahasranam, he doesn't get idli in the morning. Anyone from Sri Lanka area, Tamil Nadu, or yes, so you know, right? Did you get idli in your childhood? If you don't recite Vishnu Sahasranam, you're not going to get idlis. So we should not be so strict with the children. If you don't listen to me, then see what I'll do. What can you do? Parenting. So the best thing is that yes, you should tell them that what he's supposed to do, but explain them that you're supposed to do this. And the best example is Dhruv Maharaj again. When Dhruv Maharaj was thrown from his father's lap, he went to his mother. His mother was burning with anger that, how dare my, Dhruva's stepmother, how dare she throw him? But then she couldn't do anything because father loved more than this wife. He loved the other wife, so she couldn't do anything. So she was burning with anger. But what she told Dhruva, please read that section of Bhagavatam. She didn't say, Dhruva, we will take revenge. She didn't say, Dhruva, you should take revenge. You should think wrong about them. You should curse them. Although she was burning with anger, she told Dhruva, never think anything wrong about anyone. Because she knew what I'm going to teach, that is what will be there with this child throughout the life. So she didn't put out all her anger, but she very nicely she did teach him that Dhruva, don't think anything bad, don't even try to harm anyone, even if they are doing. Then Dhruva said, what should I do then? He said, go to God. Try to search him. He said, where do I get God? He said, I've heard he's in the forest. People, sages in earlier ages, they used to go to the forest. You also go. So Dhruva went 5-year-old. So this is parenting. Even though you may have problem, but you should not pass this on to your child, right? So I'll give you some practical tips now. Unless you have a question, you may laugh. Unless you have a question. Any of you have any question till now? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much
wonderful session. From the children's perspective, like now we have largely heard about what is the duty of a parent, but we have such lovely, responsible children amongst us. It's always a two-way street. It's only the parents cannot just be either showing love or controlling. They also have to reciprocate equally, if not more, because you mentioned at the starting of this class about responsibility. So the parent has to take adequate responsibility to groom the children, and the children also have to take responsibility because we want to see them better than us. Because I came to Krishna consciousness when I was 40 years. My children have come to Krishna consciousness when they are 5 years old. So expectations are high, but because of the environment that is prevailing in the school and the influence the school has, so it becomes a bit difficult to manage the situation. They are listening. I'm not saying they're not listening, but managing so the thrust has to be very intense all the time. So how would you? Can you please guide us on that?
First of all, I feel that the parents should not try to fulfill their ambition to the child. I could not become the devotee, so we should at least. So that kind of ambition should be given up. And without any expectation, we should provide the best culture. And yes, sometimes, like Chanakya Pandit says, child is small, you can punish him. When he's about 12, 13 years or something, 15 years, then you just become friend. So always don't remain parent always. Try to become friend. That is important. Our problem is, even if the boy is married, we still remain parent. Isn't it? He's not listening to me. He's married, he has a life. Become friend. The problem is this. So once the child is 15-year-old, just become friend, that's all. And you will see the difference. The child will open up, child will speak. So this is what we should do. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, also the children has responsibility that whatever they are getting, they should understand that they have not seen the world. But somebody who has seen the world, if they are telling us, because hippie movement came by because they didn't want to hear about from the parents. They had the motto that don't listen to anyone above 30. That was the motto of hippies at that time. And Prabhupada was not below 30. Don't listen to anyone who's above 30. Why? Because they think that they don't understand us. We are different generation. My father doesn't know how to operate a Facebook. I can do so many things on Facebook, but father doesn't know this. So he is not. These are all things which is good if you're learning. But at the same time, we should understand that the experience of life what the parent has is more important than social media and other knowledge. So that we should take. So both the sides are there. We should not try to fulfill our ambition. At the same time, become friends. And when you are friends, after some time, the definitely children will open up and you will not have to go on pressurizing them. Do this, do that. If they have a friend in you, why will they not speak to you? So that again, the culture has to be provided. Yes. Yes, sir.
So now the next generation is own their
Right. What happens is, it is important to give a very strong foundation. Have you heard about Amish community in America, Pennsylvania? Have you heard? You can sometime go to Google, you will tell you. Amish community, I will tell you why I said about it, Amish community. They are right now also in this present age, they are staying as they were 300 years ago. They have not changed. no rules have changed. Their clothing are like that, what they were wearing at that time. And it's a closed community. Now, what they do, your question was there. So, what they do generally, up to 18 years of age, 17, 18 something, they keep the child with the community, train them heavily, all the teaching, schooling. They don't have theaters, they don't have internet, they don't have TV, nothing. The child grows up in that without knowing what's going on in the world. But he knows only farming and whatever, and church is there, go to church, etc. They give. Then at the age of 17 or 18, they give the child outside. Now, first time child is seeing love, and they say that you have 2 years time. If you like that kind of life, what you're going to see, which he has never seen till now, discos and what all there in America. So, if you like that kind of life, you stay there only lifelong. 2 years time. If you come back in 2 years time, please understand you will never be able to go back to that life. Now the choice is yours. You have 2 years time. You like that kind of life, stay there, never come back. Finish, no contact with us. Otherwise, you come back within 2 years. But please understand, no contact with the outside world. 80% of the children come back. 80%. Why? Foundation is so strong. They're going out. You can imagine somebody who has not seen a disco in his life. He goes to Las Vegas, all everywhere, casinos and brothels and all the bars, everything which he has never seen in his life, obviously gets attracted. But because the foundation is so strong, he comes back. He doesn't enjoy that. So that's like, if you compare in modern terms, that life is very primitive. They're farming, they're staying, they have very nice rules. One of the rules when they get married. So when they get married, the boy's family come to the girl's house, they get married, all others they leave. The boy has to stay that night. He doesn't go back. You know why? He has to help in cleaning. Now you're part of the family, right? Go on, help in cleaning. So he stays back and he helps in cleaning. Can we have such rule everywhere? In India, in North India, वो लड़के वाले तो मतलब वो isn't it? North India, so you know that. So point was, we provide them the best of the facilities for Krishna consciousness. Provide them the culture how do we provide the culture? Number one, by your own example. Don't think that my child is not going to take classes. No. First thing providing culture is by own example. Second, by providing him facility to grow in Krishna consciousness. Whatever we can as a child, if he wants to see something, show him some Krishna consciousness, give him books of Krishna consciousness. He grows with that. And for him, like having Shikha should not be an embarrassment, right? He should be proud of it, the child. Why? Because he knows our culture is so great. They don't understand. No problem. I know what I'm doing is right. That kind of strong foundation we have to. So by your own example, by providing the facilities to him, and of course, when we have the sanghas or we have the opportunity with mixing with other devotees, we should always mix. And we should try to give him that Krishna conscious culture by engaging him in learning the books, learning the shlokas, learning the bhajans, learning the stories. This is so nice. In fact, if you have every Friday program, which I'm sure you have, right? Every Friday, you should train the children throughout the week that they should present something on every Friday. Whether some shloka, children will come, 4, 5 are standing and they're reciting shlokas, right? So all of you feel embarrassed. My God, my child is doing, let me go and read and study. So children should recite shloka. Very small children, tell them to come and tell stories. You know, they're very small. They should come and tell stories about Krishna. So like this, train them, the bhakti should become natural to them, right? Nowadays, what happens when you send them to school, they come back and they start dancing on Bollywood songs. And parents also say, very nice, very nice. My child is dancing. I don't know what. Now, songs will be different. I'm sure. अभी तो बॉलीवुड में ये नहीं होगा जो भी होगा इस वेरी no, because what has happened in the outside world when they go, who are their ideals? Their ideals are not Ram or Sita. No girl wants to become like Sita. They want to become like Madhuri Dixit or whoever. अभी कौन है आजकल? हम लोग उस जमाने के हैं माधुरी दीक्षित के। So अभी पता नहीं है। हाँ? Who is the latest now? अरे घबरा क्यों रहे हो? मैं सब बता I know what you are doing. So don't hesitate. Okay, whoever is. So our children do not aspire to become Ram, or our girls, small girls, do not aspire to become Sita. What do they aspire? I should become Aishwarya Rai or whatever, I don't know, whoever is, right? Miss World, Miss Universe, they keep missing everything, but still they are Miss Universe. So why is this? Why our children are so attracted? Because we are not telling them from the childhood the stories of Krishna, stories of Rama, stories of Sita. See, even today, I will tell you, in this world, in the modern advanced world, when you hear the name of Miss World or Miss Universe, what comes to your mind? Okay, don't tell me, I know, but what comes to your mind? Nothing good, right? But even today, when you hear the name of Sita, what comes to your mind? Respect. That is our idea, right? So this thing should be taught to the children. So our duty is just give them good foundation, send them with a faith that Krishna will protect. So when they will go outside, and if they are vaccinated, nothing will happen. So if the vaccine is weak, they may get affected. But at least give them the culture, that is the truth. Right? Thank you. Any other question or comments? No question. I thought there will be so many questions. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Okay, very nice. Did you hear the question? Question is, let me answer it. Or you want to answer? Why did you raise hand? You have a question? Oh, okay. Should I answer him first? Hello? Okay. Just pull this that side. I want to keep my legs up in. I have been sitting. Please do. Those guys who is excited, I'll take care of my children. Okay. Yes. It's okay, so yeah. So his question is that the other day I spoke about arrow. I spoke about 6 kinds of disciples who are not considered to be good disciples, right? What are the 6 kinds? Next time, won't sit in front of you.
Can't be a honeybee.
Two more. Wow, very nice, wonderful. the other children are so worried, right? If I would have asked this question to any other person, they would have got stuck, right? Except him, of course, because he has become it down. Okay. So question was that I said about the arrow, you should not become an arrow piercing the heart of the Guru. So his question is, what about our God brothers? Sometimes they do something wrong. And if we try to correct them, they do not like it, right? And then that becomes an arrow for the Guru. He feels that both of you are fighting. Is it? That's a question? Yes. So what should we do? When we see someone doing wrong, it is our responsibility to correct the person. But how to do that is important. There are various ways. First of all, if you have good relationship with that person, friendly relationship, you can go and tell him in a friendly way. He will accept. If you do not have that friendly relationship, then if you go and tell, he will not accept. So then what should be done? Then you should try to discuss with this authority or whoever is taking care of that person. Try to tell them that this is going on because you don't have the authority. See, correction is done when, number one, correct authority, number one, correct time and place, right? And number three, correct intention. If these things are not there, don't correct anyone. So you have the authority or no, first of all, you should think. If you are a temple manager, temple president, then you have the authority. If you don't correct, that means you're not doing your seva. So for that it is okay. But if you don't have an authority, don't correct the person. Second thing, even if you have authority, see the time, place, and circumstances. Right? Not that right in front of everyone, you chastise the person. So what will happen? That person will not feel nice. If everyone knows what I have done, I will not like to come in front of you. One of Srila Prabhupada's sannyasi disciple, he did something and then he left the moment. Prabhupada was not happy. But this thing was known only to Prabhupada, Prabhupada's secretary and that sannyasi. Prabhupada's secretary told everyone, you know what that sannyasi did, you know what they did. Prabhupada came to know, he called him and fired left and right. He chastised him and everything. He said, why you did it? He said, you have stopped, you have closed the doors for him to come back. Because you see, if he knew that, okay, no one knows, only Prabhupada knows, then he'll go and discuss. Maybe there is a chance he will repent and he will come back and be a very nice devotee. But now he knows the entire temple knows what I have done. He will never come back. So Prabhupada was very angry. So time, place, and circumstance is important. You know, why you're doing, where you're doing it. And the third thing is intention. We should have intention that I want to help him. Not I want to show him. Two things. With that intention, you not have a friendly relationship, you can tell someone else who's not that telling he will get chastisement, I will be very happy. Not with that. I know that person will be doing a wrong thing. I want to save him. That's okay. Thank you. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu.
मेरा मन में जिज्ञासा है हमारा भारतीय संस्कृति में व्यक्ति को पूजा जाता है या चरित्र को पूजा जाता है?
हमारा वैदिक यही क्वेश्चन है और उसके
वही है इसमें श्रेष्ठ कौन?
वैदिक साहित्य में व्यक्ति को पूजा जाता है या चरित्र को पूजा जाता है? किसको पूजा जाता है? अच्छे चरित्र वाले व्यक्ति को पूजा जाता है। सो अच्छा व्यक्ति कौन है? जिसका चरित्र अच्छा है। आप अलग कर ही नहीं सकते। सो इसीलिए हमारे वैदिक सभ्यता में अच्छे चरित्र वाले व्यक्ति को पूजा जाता है। लेकिन ऐसा व्यक्ति नहीं। जब आप कहते हो कि व्यक्ति को पूजना है, चरित्र को पूजना, मतलब आप कह रहे हो कि एक ऐसा व्यक्ति है जिसका चरित्र अच्छा है लेकिन व्यक्ति खराब है। ऐसा हो सकता है? चरित्र अच्छा है, व्यक्ति खराब है, या फिर व्यक्ति अच्छा है, चरित्र खराब है? हो ही नहीं सकता। अच्छा व्यक्ति किसे कहते हैं? जिसका चरित्र अच्छा है। पर्सन इज नोन बाय हिज कैरेक्टर। व्यक्ति अपने चरित्र से जाना जाता है, कपड़ों से नहीं जाना जाता। सैफरन पहन लिया, सर शेव कर लिया, वो बहुत अच्छा शुद्ध बात हो गई, बिल्कुल नहीं। We had this saying that if money is lost, nothing is lost. Health is lost, something is lost. Character is lost, everything is lost. लेकिन अब क्या हो गया है? If character is lost, nothing is lost. Health is lost, something is lost. Money is lost. This is a condition. This is a... So कैसा चरित्र होना चाहिए? शास्त्रों में देख के बताते हैं। राजा दुष्यंत, he was, should I say in Hindi? आप लोगों से हिंदी समझ में आती है सबको? थोड़ा क्वेश्चन हिंदी में, इसलिए आंसर हिंदी में देना चाहते हैं, ठीक है ना? कोई केस वेस तो नहीं करेगा? दुष्यंत गए हैं जंगल में शिकार करने, भटक गए, अकेले थे, एक आश्रम में गए, दरवाजा खटखटाया, दरवाजा खुला, सामने एक बहुत सुंदर स्त्री आई। राजा दुष्यंत ने देखा, आकर्षित हो गए, विवाह करने की इच्छा हो गई। उन्होंने पूछा आप कौन हैं? उन्होंने कहा कि मैं ये ऋषि हैं, इनकी पुत्री हूँ। दुष्यंत ने कहा तुम ऋषि की पुत्री हो ही नहीं सकती। आप सोचिए, आपके घर पे कोई आया, दरवाजा खटखटाए, आपसे पूछे आप कौन हैं? आप बोले मैं रामलाल जी का लड़का हूँ। बोले आप रामलाल जी के लड़के हो ही नहीं सकते। उसने कहा हो ही नहीं सकती, क्यों? कारण दिया दुष्यंत ने। दुष्यंत ने कहा मैं एक क्षत्रिय हूँ, और अगर मेरा हृदय, मेरा दिल किसी स्त्री पर आ रहा है तो वो क्षत्राणी ही होनी चाहिए, वो ब्राह्मणी हो ही नहीं सकती। ये कैरेक्टर था उनका। उनको अपने इतने चरित्र पर विश्वास था कि मेरा मन किसी ब्राह्मण की पुत्री की ओर जा ही नहीं सकता। अगर मेरा मन किसी स्त्री की ओर गया तो वो क्षत्राणी ही होनी चाहिए, और एक्चुअल सही में वो क्षत्राणी थी, शकुंतला, विश्वामित्र की पुत्री, क्षत्राणी, क्षत्रिय की पुत्री। इसे कहते हैं चरित्र, कैरेक्टर। हो ही नहीं सकता। आज कौन कह सकते, इतना विश्वास है अपने चरित्र का? तो इसीलिए चरित्र ऐसा होना चाहिए, जैसे युधिष्ठिर महाराज ने कह दिया द्रौपदी हम 5 से शादी करेंगे। कुंती ने कहा पागल हो गए हो, कभी सुना ऐसा? एक से ही 5 पतियों से शादी करेगी? क्या बकवास कर रहे हो, क्या अधर्म कह दिया तुमने? युधिष्ठिर ने कहा मेरे मुख से निकला हुआ अधर्म हो ही नहीं सकता, वो धर्म होना चाहिए। कैसा धर्म होगा? कुंती ने कहा। युधिष्ठिर ने कहा वो मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन मेरे मुख से निकला तो धर्म ही होगा। और बाद में व्यासदेव ने उसको साबित किया कि जो उन्होंने कहा था वो धर्म। कुंती का विवाह, द्रौपदी का विवाह करना 5 से धर्म था। ये व्यासदेव ने बाद में आकर उसको स्थापित। तो ये चरित्र है, जिस व्यक्ति को इतना विश्वास हो कि मेरे मुख से अधर्म की बात निकल ही नहीं सकती। तो ऐसे हमारे पहले के चरित्र रहे हैं, और इसीलिए व्यक्ति चरित्र से जाना जाता है, व्यक्ति किसी और चीज से। और भक्तों के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। हम जब भक्त बनते हैं तो बाहरी नहीं, हमने तिलक लगा लिया, हमने धोती पहन लिया, हाथ में माला है, हो गए बाबा जी, बिल्कुल नहीं। भक्त किससे जाना जाता है? प्रभुपाद से पूछा गया आपके भक्तों को कैसे पहचाना जाएगा? प्रभुपाद ने यही कहा कि वो कपड़े फाड़ कर घूम रहे होंगे, हा राधे हा कृष्णा करते हुए सड़कों पर। कहा प्रभुपाद ने दे विल बी फर्स्ट क्लास जेंटलमैन। फर्स्ट क्लास जेंटलमैन मींस हैविंग गुड कैरेक्टर। प्रभुपाद ने ये कहा, ये ऐसे उनके भक्त जाने जाएंगे। सो दैट इज डिवोशन। सो इसीलिए चरित्र और व्यक्ति को अलग नहीं किया जाता। ठीक है, थैंक यू। और कोई प्रश्न?
यस, कृष्ण कुमार प्रभु।
सॉरी बच्चे अगर कृष्ण भावनामृत में हैं वो माता पिता को फैसिलिटी दे रहे हैं और माता पिता नहीं कर रहे हैं। हाँ, तो बच्चे को क्या करना चाहिए?
बच्चे मतलब युवक है ना, युवक बच्चे मतलब बड़े मतलब जो हम यहाँ पे हैं उनके पेरेंट्स वहाँ पे हैं।
युवक युवक
हाँ युवक
डंडा लेके मारना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं करना। देखिए, हमें समझना चाहिए कि माता पिता ने अपने जीवन के कई वर्ष बिना भक्ति किए, अब हम उनको सुविधा दे रहे हैं, उनके लिए ये बहुत मुश्किल होगा। जैसे एक पौधा होता है ना, पौधा जब बढ़ता है, आप उसको रस्सी लेकर ऐसे घुमा दो पौधे को, तो वो ऐसा ही बड़ा होगा, और बड़ा होने के बाद आप उसको सीधा करो, टूट जाएगा, सीधा नहीं होगा। तो ये जो बच्चे हैं, ये पौधे की तरह है, बच्चों को आप कहीं भी घुमाओ वो घूम जाएंगे। लेकिन अब जो बूढ़े हैं वो पूरे टेढ़े पर पेड़ की तरह है, सीधा करो टूट जाएंगे, लेकिन सीधा नहीं होंगे। तो इसीलिए हमें क्या करना है, जितना हो सके उनको देने का हमारा कर्तव्य है, जो हमें मिला है और माता पिता को देना ही देना है। तो किसी न किसी तरह से लीजिए, घर में प्रभुपाद का 24 आवर कीर्तन जाके लगा दीजिए, हम की तब इनको यात्रा पर ले जाएगा, कुछ तो लाभ होगा। हमें पता ऐसा कुछ होता होगा सिस्टम, 8:30 बजे के बाद लाइट बंद होना शुरू हो जाएगी, बस बहुत हो गया बच्चों। सो प्रभु, आपको उत्तर मिला, जितना आप कर सके करिए, आशा मत करिए कि 6 महीने में, साल में, 2 साल में बनने ही चाहिए। हमें 25 साल लगा है, हम उनको 3-4 साल में, 5 साल में बना देंगे, लेकिन प्रयास ऐसा कीजिए जो उनको अच्छा लगता है उसको भक्ति से जोड़िए। उनको घूमना अच्छा लगता है, यात्रा पे ले जाइए तीर्थ स्थान पर। उनको पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, बुक्स दे दीजिए। उनको खाना अच्छा लगता है, तो जब आप जाएं तो उनको मंदिरों में ले जाइए, प्रसाद खिलाइए। ऐसे कुछ चीजें करते रहिए, और घर पर थोड़ा सा ऐसा वातावरण बना दीजिए, जैसे हमने कहा कीर्तन चलता रहे, और आसपास कोई भक्त हो तो उनसे कनेक्ट कराइए, क्योंकि साधारण को हमने पढ़ा कि हमको सिखा रहे हैं क्या, प्रयास कीजिए किसी और से उनको कनेक्ट कराइए, वो लोग अच्छी तरह करना। सो लाइटें बंद होकर सिग्नल मिल रहा है हमें।
After coming for Krishna consciousness, and we are hearing from so many Brahmacharis, Maharaj, we will come to know that we have to give a good education, Krishna consciousness to our children. But we have also, we'll see in practical life. So there is so much competition outside. So, but we have still have tendency to give good education for our children.
Yeah, question is that although we are coming to Krishna consciousness, we want to give our children the good material education also. So how to balance any education? Your children should not become, your child should not, after becoming elder, he should not blame you. You taught me only Bhagavad Gita, now I cannot do IIT, because it is not allowed by reading Bhagavad Gita, you can enter in IIT. So this is the time, if you can, if you have the facility of such Gurukul or such schools and in your vicinity, in your area, say you're staying in Mayapur or you're staying in somewhere where you can give such education to your child, you should first do that without thinking anything. But if you are not in that area, then you have to send them to outside school. So that also you should provide them. But at the same time, then you should increase the spiritual content. So see that in the house you are training him nicely. Not that he goes to college to study and then he forgets everything. So that responsibility we should take. And we should, I think, give the education unless we have the facility provided by the temple or any other way where we can just give the child this education. But even then, even if you're training him in a gurukul or something, it is important to give the material education also. Nowadays, our gurukuls or our schools which are there, they're trying to do that. They're trying to give some material education just to get the degree, but otherwise they're training them in Krishna consciousness. So if we can give the facility, we should do that. And if you're not, like you are here, because they can't just be illiterate, which they will blame you later. Please don't do anything at this stage where children grow up and blame you. Have you heard that story? That a boy brought pencil, right? I've been hearing from my childhood. The boy brought one pencil from the school. Mother did not say anything. Then he brought other things. Mother did not say anything. Later on, he became a thief, a murderer. And he was given punishment to be hanged. And then they asked him, and he asked desire. He said, I want to meet my mother. So when mother came to meet, he was very angry. And the mother was clothed, and he you know that?
Yeah.
Which were the ear and so. So mother asked why, and he said, the day I brought pencil first time from the school, if you would have stopped me, I would not have reached here. So don't do anything by which children blame you later by such things. Give them culture, and education is there. Give them everything and let them have a choice in life. Don't think that if I have a son, he will definitely become a brahmachari. He doesn't become a brahmachari, what then? How will he learn? So try to give that education. But yes, I suggest if we have facility through same education through our own schools, nothing like it. Send it there blindly so that he goes. I was in UK, London, just before coming here, and we have wonderful schools there. Krishna Avanti schools. How many of you heard about it? Yes, I visited the school, I studied the system, what they're doing, how they're doing. And that they are government schools. Our own schools, but government school. They have a temple, Krishna Balaram temple in between right there. And every child who studies in the school, they go there in the morning and the teacher is teaching. I went there, the assembly was on, the class was going on, all the children were there. And what was being taught? Nama Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhuvale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. I was so happy. They were not great children. I asked all our devotee children, they said only 20% are devotee children. Rest 80% are outside. And what are they learning? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda. They are every day coming in front of Lord, going down. So you see, that culture is required and that school is doing wonderful. It is a government school. Please understand, it's free for everyone. Government gives all the things. And we are preaching Krishna consciousness. So that's what we should do, something like that if we can. If you don't have, whatever facility, try everything to rest education. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
In their own interest, especially in their but when they go out in their other friends who are not part of this, what filter should they apply so that they don't get this? Because the age they feel whatever they can say is right. They disregard the skills of the parents or elders. So then even afterwards.
So what we should do, knowing this from the beginning, we should try to involve him with Krishna conscious children. His friends are also Krishna conscious. We should try our best, right? Like we have here all, so all these are Krishna conscious children, friends with each other. So they will learn from each other. It's very nice. But yes, when they go to school, when they go to university, obviously they will see the friends and they will get influenced. It happens. Like I know one family, they did not bring TV in their home. They didn't want because it's anyway idiot box, they call it, right? So why should we have the thing? But when the child used to go to some friend's house and he used to see TV, or they used to come and tell him, we saw this today, we saw that today, he was getting, why am I not seeing that? So he came to the parents, said, I want TV, and parents said, no way, cannot wait to get TV. It will spoil it. So things happen like that, they get affected. But I've also seen examples where children have given, parents have given such nice. I know one family, they're very rich. What to talk of TV, they can afford, home theater in their house. And their house is also such big. In each room they can have TV, but they don't have. And the children are now, they are doing engineering or something. It's not small. But from childhood, they train them very nicely. And they have a house next to them who has all the facility, sound system, TV, all that thing. But they go there, they don't get affected. Initially, they also had this problem, but then they kept on training, kept on telling them, most important is spend time with your child. If you don't spend time with your child, then obviously child will like to spend time with some other, and then he will get influenced. So our job is to go on training them and see to it that they come into this kind of association, they mix with children, they get to know. From the childhood, keep telling them, when the child is small, as I was giving this example of a small plant, and you have a rope and turn it and tie it, it will grow like that. Children are like that. So it is our duty at that age to turn them to Krishna consciousness. So they don't grow straight in material world. They go to the spiritual world. So please, whatever we can do, we should do. And if they're getting influenced and they're not listening to parents, see to it that if they can, before they come to that stage. Actually, what happens is we start doing firefighting. The child has already, stopped coming to temple, child is not listening, and then we start saying what to do with him now. But standard, Prabhuji will not come to temple. Whole year he will not come to temple. Why? It is 10th standard, he has to study. So the parents themselves are not bringing, thinking that child has to study. So for 1 year you have kept him away, then how do you expect when you go to college and he will be Krishna conscious? So the children, parents also, yes, they are concerned about the study, so they should see to it that he doesn't waste his time, but at least he should come in association. That is very important. So parents also sometimes, I know parents who want to send their children to America for studies. Staying alone, what will happen? Very good. I told them, why are you sending to America? India has such nice institutions. But no, my child wants to study in America, I will send him. Spending so much money to spoil him. Just imagine. You have a good child. It is not that India doesn't have good institution. India has wonderful class 1 institutions, world number 1 institution. IIT, IIM are famous worldwide. That Google CEO, what's his name? Sundar Pichai. He glorified the other day. I was seeing his interview. He said, best thing to India is IIT. He's from IIT. So we have such institution, but we want to send them to America, get them spoiled because they stay alone. I told them, okay, is there any devotee association? No, we have chosen a university. There is no association. Then why did you choose the university? So what happens is that at that time, our only concern is, no, my child, how is my child? You're not concerned about the child. You should give him the spiritual culture. Like recently, one boy went to Canada. We made sure that he stays in the temple. He's staying in the temple. He started serving in the temple, which he was not doing in India. So it's better for him. He's doing good now. So, some things like that we need to think. So I feel somewhere the mistake of parents is also there. Child is there, is getting influenced, but we should also, we are not giving our 100% to that. That's okay. I think we should stop. Lights have been switched.
Yes.
It's the age of social media. Yes. It's very, very difficult to contain. Sitting with the laptop. They have to be in front of computer, internet. Very. Yeah, the schools are also giving everything online now. Universities are giving online. So yes, I agree that it is very difficult, and I think it is a new disease which has come. It will take some time for us to find a solution. But of course, Krishna consciousness is there, but we are also finding this many places. Earlier, we used to have students program. So many students used to come. Now you go on calling them, nobody comes because they are busy with their phones. And nowadays, universities, when you take admission, they give you free laptop and free Wi-Fi. Just see. I wish that when you take admission, they should give you a free bag. And a Bhagavad Gita, right? How nice it will be, instead of giving laptop and free Wi-Fi. So yes, that is there, I agree. But what can be done? Challenges have come, we are trying to face. Will come slowly, children will come out. They get frustrated. Nothing is there in that. But yeah, till that time, a lot of lives will be lost to material things. So social media, of course, we should also try. I have seen our parents, again I'm coming to parents. They have become so addicted to phone. Husband, while going out, may forget his wife, but he will not forget the phone. Isn't it? So, earlier, I used to travel in train, and train used to be so nice travel because people do only three things in train. How many of you have traveled in train in India? All of you, right? They do only three things. They sleep as if they've never slept in their life. They eat. In India, if you are from Gujarati family or you are from Rajasthan family, you carry three bags only for food. I'm sorry, any Gujarati, Rajasthani, please forgive me. They're there.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
But full, that also. It's not along with chutney, masala, everything they will have, even in train. So they sleep, they eat, and they talk. These are the three things they used to do, right? But now when I used to get so disturbed because I had to hear so many things. I will tell you, one time I was going, it was a AC compartment. So, next to me, I was sitting this side, the other side, two ladies were sitting. And they two were related. That means both of their husbands were brothers. So like that. And you understood what it is. So they were sitting. And the way they were criticizing their husbands. Oh, God. I'll tell you, by the time I got on from the train, I knew the names, I remember their names, their profession, and how they treat their mother, everything I knew. So they went on and on, as if, they got maybe they were not getting the time to do that, and now is the train full-fledged. So I used to get really disturbed, I hear all these things, I set up the e-com. But now when I travel in plane, so peaceful. Husband, wife, child, all three are sitting. They won't even talk a single word. They're all on their mobiles. That's all. So it's very peaceful. So it has some good advantages. Some good things also. So you don't hear anything. Life has become so impersonal, right? You are in the other room, the boy is in the other room, you send a WhatsApp message, come, prasadam is ready, food is ready. The child says, no, I'm not coming, I'm not available right now. Hey, I saw you online just 2 minutes ago, come on. They have become so used to it that one time a person called, he got a phone call. So he said, Ray, I just want to meet you. I'm coming to your house. Can I come right now? He said, no, I'm not in the house. I will reach after 1 hour. He said, Maharaj, I have called you on landline. We are so used to saying line on the phone. Wherever you are, just say, no, I'm here, I'm there. It was a landline. I forgot. Social media, yes. Yes, Mataji. Do we have time to take one question? It's already 8:45. Yes. Saturday and Sunday or Thursday and Friday, whatever holiday days are, you should give full time to your children. Even if you do not do Bhakti Shastri, it's okay. Your Bhakti Shastri is your children. Like Prabhupada told Giriraj Maharaj. Giriraj Maharaj was in Vrindavan as a sannyasi and construction was going on. So he used to count every day how many cement bags, how many bricks. So he went to Prabhupada one day. He said, Prabhupada, I am a sannyasi. I am supposed to do Radhe Radhe. He used to see all sannyasis on the road doing Radhe Radhe. And he said, what am I doing? I get up in the morning, how many bags of cement, how many bricks, how many steel, what am I doing? Prabhupada said, this is your samadhi. Right? Because you're doing that, that is what you should do. So similarly, as parents, our responsibility is towards children first. It's okay if you go to Bhakti Shastri, but you give full time to them. That is what they expect at that time. And so at least whatever available time, I know due to some constraint, you may not be, love to give time, but you're not able to. But at least whatever is there on the weekends, give that full time to children. Spend good time, good quality time. Maybe, read out to them. If you can't do it in the daytime, at least in the night before sleeping, read out something to them, sit with them, read Krishna book loudly. So many things you can do that you should do, whatever available time. And when on weekends, give full time to them. That children will really appreciate. Thank you. Yes, brother.
Many times we tend to give examples to kids, like peers or elders, which are good motive that they can follow. But there is sometimes they take it as we are comparing with others and
Right.
the whole purpose backwards. How we can tackle this issue?
Isn't it? Big example like how will you think? Comparing is not good, especially the children. So we, even when we are giving example, first give example from Shastra, so they won't mind comparing. But when you keep comparing with others, dekho usko. In fact, the child is developing hatred towards the other one. The example you are giving, with no fault of that person. You are giving the example, he doesn't even know, the boy develops hatred. You see, my father says that he's done this. So what we should do, there are ways of doing it, positive ways. Like you see, suppose you go to a child and you see that all the things are scattered in his room. Then what do you say? I'm tired of telling you again and again. Why are you doing this? Why things are scattered? Other ways that these things are meant to be kept inside. Try doing that. So learn patience. Children are here to teach us first lesson of patience, right? So please learn patience. If you have children, that's why you see for me, I'm brahmachari. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I can't raise Krishna consciousness, so I will give a sannyas. Of course, that was his humility. But so what we should do with the children, if they are thinking like that, stop completely. Because you see different children, some child may take it positively also. It's not that everyone takes it. But if you're feeling like that, see, with the children, you have to go on experiment. What is working with? And then somehow or other, you have to go on giving the proper things to them. Sometimes you have to be strict, as I said, chant the promises, but most of the time when the child is grown up, just be very friendly. So, in that sense, it may not work, something else may work. Comparing generally should be avoided. That's why everyone unique ability. Einstein said this famous statement of Einstein. He said, if you judge a fish by its capacity to climb a tree, the fish will always think that the fish is dumb because she cannot climb the tree. Simple, right? So we cannot have the same yardstick for everyone. That you have to get all these things. You have to get. Child may have so many. Okay, tell me, what's his name? Virat Kohli. How much has he studied? Not even 10, right? But anyone says like that? Nobody bothers. He has some different unique ability. He's displaying and he's becoming famous worldwide. Which the job was of you. So she explained the work you have to do. And finally, he said, tomatoes. He took some tomatoes, went somewhere else and sold them for a profit. And then he thought, this is good. He started doing that. Within 2-3 years, he became a very big businessman. So after he was a very successful businessman, then reporter came to interview. So reporter took, wow, sir, you have in 3 years, you have become such big, multi-millionaire, this, that. So he said, please give me your email ID. He said, I don't have an email ID. So he said, sir, you don't have an email ID and you become so successful. Just imagine if you had email ID, what would have happened? He said, I would have been a peon in Microsoft. So we don't have to judge people in the same yardstick. Everyone should have this. So like there are different animals and nobody can climb, so you can say, okay, we will judge you are good or not if you climb this tree. Fish can swim, monkey can climb, have that. Similarly, all the children also, they are like monkeys and fish. They have different capabilities. Try identify their capabilities. It is important that instead of forcing them, you have to become an engineer, you have to become a doctor, you have to become a therapist. What will you do in the world? Identify their capabilities. A.R. Rahman, right? If his father would have told him just do the engineering and go and do a job in a multinational company, he would have been doing that, right? With an email ID, tune. So sometimes we also, in this comparison thing, we actually kill the unique ability Krishna has given to that child. Identify that, let him go with that. He will also be happy and you will also be satisfied. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare